Good afternoon. My name is Bruce Polsky. I am the global head for insurance for Synechron. Also with me on stage is Jonas Schulten, who heads our insurance practice here in our Amsterdam office. Synechron is a $500 million professional services firm specializing in digital technology and consulting, the largest, I think, independent such company worldwide. And we put a lot of effort into our insurance product and practices on a global basis. The business problem we want to talk to you about today is with respect to commercial underwriting, which is a complicated process and one that is ever harder to get right. There is a great deal of manual work involved, a lot of data sources, and let's face it, insurance is all about getting that right, because if you get that right in the marketplace, you win. And we produce something called Visual Risk, which we feel brings AI, data sources, and multiple connections to the process that makes life easier for insurers. It's going to be easier to underwrite, more cost effective. And what we want to show you this afternoon is our take on that, or at least as much as we can in the time we have. So I want to spend as much time on the demo as possible, so let's move to that if we could, please. I'm going to start out on the right-hand side, because we could get our work a number of different ways. The most manual way is, of course, start on the right-hand side. You could enter the data manually through a form in the traditional way. If you find this interesting, you're probably at the wrong conference. But we felt we needed to have this capability as part of it. The middle way of pulling up work is to go after using a postal code and the name of the business entity that we're looking for, search on that. It'll come up with a search on that, then you could click on whichever entity came up that you wanted to do the quote for and you wanted to perform the underwriting for. We're not going to click on one today. We're probably going to go to the left here, and this would probably be the most common way that you would access this. And we're going to pull up a file here that is a PDF form. And the form we're using today is an Accord form, which is a US standard for this. But we have used other forms and pulled it through for other clients. What's going on right now is we're using Smart OCR to go through that form and then get out to the world, connect through a number of different databases, and pull down information on this business. Now that we've pulled this up, the next thing we want to do is validate that we got the headline information correct, and then we're going to want to move up to that and start gathering the data, scoring that, and going to the meat. So let's save that now. So the first thing we're going to see on Visual Risk here is what we call our Insights tab, and it's still going out and finding all that data, which I think is the most important meat of the order of what we wanted to talk to you about. So first thing it goes out, it has a lot of searches. It's going to the health department, checking the inspection. It's pulling things from social media. It's getting photos. And these categories here are particularly important in an underwriting context. If you find pictures of people who are drinking, past the hour of 1 a.m., well, that's a red flag for an underwriter. So it's going to score those and identify what it's found there. Is there nudity? Is there violence? Has there been anything going on? So it's scanning all of the social media sites to pull together any relevant photos. In this case, got a total of 23 different images, mostly of food. Nobody's posted anything else in this particular context. But if they did, that would be populated. Continuing looking at some of the widgets that we've got forming our dashboard here, we've got some of the reviews coming from social media. We've identified 4 stars. We're looking at that. We're seeing good things. We're looking for, again, red flags as we go down that. Next widget down on the left-hand side, we'll go down the left and come back to the other side. We have OSHA, which is Office and Safety and Health, if there's been any inspection related to that or any issues coming out on that. In this case, it didn't find any. It pulls some details on the business itself from filings that they've done. It pulls up some news sections that it finds. A lot of these data sites are publicly available. We have about 300 different data sources that we can pull together all on this visual risk area to make the job easier. Checking, again, online media. We're going through the Twitter feed. What are people saying about this? You want to know as you're looking through this business. Continuing back up this side, we go online and look at, are there any lawsuits pending, right? That's a significant piece of information that we're going to want to know. You can come and read the synopses, things that are going on about that as we go. Some details on the business entity, on that. The inspections, what happened on the inspections, keep going up on that, keep going up. So what it does after it gets all the different data, and we can configure whatever widgets we find are relevant, is the scoring process. And I want to spend a second on this here. And it comes up with 3 different scores. One is your risk score. How risky is this business if we were to underwrite it? How likely is the potential for fraud there? Again, we're using predictive analytics on the back end, going through all the data things. We would work with the carrier to identify that when we do implementations of this. The win score, if we put in the quote, how likely are we to win this business? In this case, it looks like a slam dunk, because what it's trying to do is score you higher one way or another. And on automate side, yes, you want to provide that quote straight through, send it off. If it's a reject, if the scores are low, hey, we think there's a high potential, this is risky, we don't want to do it, we would reject it right away. If we come at something in the middle, refer, we have a bot out here. Ask Me, where you can identify questions, where you can get a little bit of additional information you're trying to look at that you want to find out. And the top right there's a learning aspect to this. So as you use this, it will get smarter. And again, it's not a B2C. It's not a customer one where you can ask it, what was Van Halen's last album. It's really looking for questions related to the underwriter process. So this is going to be an expert mode type of thing. Once you've got that and you've decided to go through that, you also have at the top here the location tab, which will give you information about weather, points of interest, other things that are going on near there. We also have a tab on the right for a partnership we've done with Experian. There's a whole lot of data that you can grab through that. We can't go through that right now, but once you get to the point, go back to Insights and then click Save. You can then go down to create your quote, and on those set of screens, there's a lot more information, some suggested coverages, that basic info, where do you want to send this to, some Q&A. There's a lot more functionality in here. You can add an auto policy for that particular business owner. We really try to make it very functionally rich using these AI techniques. There's a lot of stuff on the back end with this process. Thank you very much. Appreciate your time this afternoon. I don't think we have time for anything else.